Should you have prices on your website? Now, it's one of the questions we get asked a lot. Some people try it, they experiment it, but then really get confused. Now, what you've got to understand is that the general public, people, if they are looking for some help in their health and fitness, or they have had the idea to get a personal trainer, the first thing we have to understand is that most people don't know the difference between you, what you have to offer, and the next personal trainer other than price. And so if I'm looking for a trainer but I have no real idea about the difference, then primarily maybe the first question I'm going to ask somebody as a trainer is what they charge, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to look straight for the place where I can find out how much the service is. So if you have that prices on your website, what potentially you're doing is you're doing people a disservice who are going there and checking your stuff out, because they'll only be making a decision on price alone. Now, what we need to do with websites is to be very clear on who we help, how we can provide solutions for people, and that's why having a niche market is so important. Because when I land on your website, what I really want to know is, how can you solve a problem of mine? How can you solve a frustration? Or how can you provide a solution? And so we're very much of the opinion and big evidence of not having your prices on your website. Because again, if you have Google Analytics set up on your pricing, hey, great to see you guys. Corey, Samantha, great to have you tune in. If you have Google Analytics set up, which I hope you do, and you're getting this evidence, then what you can see is how long people stay on your page, what they're going and checking out. Now, you get all these stats and figures to help you with this. And again, what I see is most people don't really have a good understanding about what their website should contain, what it should do, and in essence, it becomes a very expensive business card, because they have very little information to help the potential client to figure out really if making contact with you is the next step. And that should be a primal factor of your website, is have enough great content, great information to be able to get people to just take some small step to inquire. So Corey, Corey just said there, having a niche market is the best thing you guys told us, and helped heaps. That's great, Corey, and I'm glad that really helped you out, because again, if I know that I'm looking to help women, over 40 or 50, who are struggling to lose weight and be that way due to menopause, and I specialize in that area, then having that niche, having my website design set up so that my Facebook ads, my marketing is all driving people towards my site. They land there, then it's got to match up with your marketing, and so it's got to match up with from the ads that they've seen, and they want to go there, and you want to be able to give them that compelling reason to find and contact you and find out more. So I'm not going to go into the detail about a website and what it should contain, but the thing of today is about prices, and really avoid having your prices on there, and instead have that persuasive copy, that incentive for people who want to find out more about you. So you can see it goes way beyond just your putting a website together and hoping for the best. Now, if you don't have Google Analytics set up, or you're not sure what that is, I would definitely recommend that. Find an expert who can help you set it up if that's not your bag, because you really want to know the facts and figures. Now, we check ours quite regularly. We just checked ours of the day, and we can see how many people are coming to the site. We can see how long they stay for. We can see what they look at. Now, if you have this set up on your page, you might say, look, we're getting 100 people per week or per day, whatever it is. However, they're only staying for a minute 30. What we also can tell is they're going straight to the pricing page and then they're leaving. So again, it's money walking out the door. It's missed opportunities walking out the door if you don't have your whole system in place. But if you only have prices on there, it's going to be very, very ineffective. I'm yet to see really anybody in our industry or the certain service-based businesses where they're going to put their prices on there. The reality is that I don't know who you are. I don't know if I can help you yet. I don't know what your circumstances are. So by me putting a price on my website to say this is how much it's going to cost you to get personal training, I'm really letting you down, because personal training is not what they want anyway. They want a solution to a problem or a frustration that they've got. So we've got to provide that information first. then we've got to find out if we can actually help that particular person, we can help you. And that's normally by having some type of 5 or 10 minute conversation or some interaction at least. Samantha says, do you absolutely need a website? And the reality is, in this day and age, you could probably get away with not having a website. There's plenty of other services out there like ClickFunnels, lead pages. There's things like that with Facebook where people are going to message you through that. But, you know, I'd say you can get by without one. I would still recommend, you know, having one. And also depends on how you operate your business. Like, do you work out of a commercial gym? Do you have a studio? You know, if you have a studio or you're running a business that's external to a commercial gym where you don't have the luxury of having potential clients right at your fingertips, then I would definitely recommend having one. People still use Google search, so depending on the situation, then you know, you would want to have a website, which we call an authority website. So you can do that. I would recommend in that circumstance you do have a website. Corey's just said, I don't have prices on my page, but I've got a price range, so letting people know PT sessions cost between $15 and $70. What do I think of that approach? Look, again, I guess you're giving somebody the you know, an expectation. There is that price range. Again, in that regards, I'd say test and measure. Again, you need to have the stats and figures to back up anything you do in your business. So, you know, again, you're welcome, Samantha. Again, if you know, you get some feedback from Google Analytics and you're speaking to people that you know, contact you, and you ask them, and you would be asking them, what was it about the site? What was it that helped you, you know, make the decision to pick up the phone or message us? If they said, look, well, I saw that was between $15 and $70. Like, what you got to understand again, Corey, is that, you know, again, I might go the cheapest option. The 15 sounds good. They might have a preconceived idea about, you know, expectations. So again, I would be more of a fan of, you know, solving a problem for people on my website and be very clear about the benefits that we deliver. And I would be doing that just to get people to get on the phone and contact you. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm not saying it's right. However, what I would do is I would test and measure it. So again, our philosophy is we're not putting prices on there. You know, we can cover that part when we actually get someone on the blower, because, you know, people are going to have a response to, you know, to a price and figure only. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I would recommend you don't really need the pricing on there. So all right, that's my few quick tips. The tips today on you know, pricing and on websites. You know, again, test and measure everything you do. Just don't take my word for it, our word, or anybody else for it. Do your own due diligence and research. That's just what we've experienced. That's what we've seen, and that's what we've seen in the psychology of people who buying decisions. And just think more from a point of view of, you know, when people land on your website, that you really want to make sure, again, to recap, that's very clear on what you deliver, what problems you solve, what solutions you provide, what niche you cater for, who you can specialise and help. Have a heap of social proof if you've got it. If you're starting out, you won't have it, but testimonials, case studies, all those things that will help someone just make that first step to contact you. At the end of the day, your main objective is, can you get someone to feel, you know, excited enough about messaging you? If it's, you can hook up Facebook Messenger to your website, you know, contact form. Just give them a compelling reason to just at least inquire about finding out more. Give them that hook, give them a taste, give them a teaser, and you know, just get them to make that inquiry. All right, Jason Barrett signing off. Hope you had a great week, and stay tuned for more live videos.